Hey there and welcome to Andy's podcast and different office today. Yes, this is my spot literally on the little blue and green dot. Isn't it fantastic? I mean, yeah, people are going, oh, come on, that's not fair. Anyway, my podcast is about time, money, experience, communication, balance and compromise. And let me tell you a story. How did I get to my spot on the little blue and green dot? Well, many years ago, I was invited to an ice carving competition in Finland. And I thought, ice carving? Oh, that sounds cold. I don't like being cold. That's why I live here. So anyway, ice carving, I thought, right, go give it a go. Why not? So I went for the weekend, and the only other person in the ice carving teams who spoke English was an American. And he said, after he saw the way I performed on social media and was made a fool of and all the other things at this event, he said, you should come to Padre, you'd have a field day. And I said, what is Padre? And he said, it's an island off South Texas. So I went, Texas has got an island? Wow. I thought it was big anyway. So yes, in South Padre Island. So I thought, well, I met the guy for a weekend, he's never going to invite me. And 2 months later, an invite arrived on email and said, if you get here, we'll look after you. So I came to America. I just thought, I'd never been to the States, and I thought, let's go and spend some time on the beach. I need time on the beach. I've been in the rain for, months. I was carving wood in the rain for a long time. And I thought, you know what, I need a break. Let's go. So I just came to South Padre and hung out and had just the most wonderful time and saw how America celebrated success, which I wasn't used to at all. It was very strange. So today's podcast is all about, do I turn left or do I turn right? Which is the right way to go when you're making a decision. So my experience has said, go anywhere you like, okay? Left or right, doesn't matter, all right? Choose something and then go with it. And a lot of people have said, well, I'm frightened about that. I don't want to, I can't do that. Why not? A life without risk is no life at all. So I chose to come to Padre, and it was a long journey. I've been here 20 years. I love Texas. I love the people. It's a fantastic place. The beach is just wonderful. And of course I can build sandcastles, and which is behind me. You'll get a more detailed view of that later. But I started with nothing. I came here with about £1,000 and that was it, you know. I maxed out my credit card, bought a motorcycle and rode back from San Francisco, where I flew into, back to South Padre. Just to be with the same people. And ended up being with my wife. Yeah, it was weird. Yeah, second wife, but we won't go into that. And it was fantastic. So I had a great time, but all because I chose to go left. Or did I choose to go right? I don't know. The whole point is, people are so frightened these days of making a decision that they'll never earn any experience unless it's by somebody else's experience. And that's sort of what my podcast's about, isn't it? I'm telling you about my experiences. But what I'm trying to enlighten you to is the fact that you have to make the choice on your own. You can read all the reviews, you can listen to how other people have traveled, you can do all sorts of things, but unless you pull the trigger yourself, you're never going to do anything. And I was on my own then, I was single at the time, so I just thought, you know what, I'm going to go and see this place. I've never seen America. It'll be fantastic. And it was fantastic. I had a motorcycle journey across the states, which was unbelievable. And it was just great. But the thing that attracted me to becoming an American was the fact that they celebrate success. And that was one of my experiences that never left me. And it still never has. But the other kick I get every day, which is weird, I still enjoy walking out of a cool house, which I have in Texas, into warm air. That makes me smile every day. So I'm always happy when I walk out the door. I think, sunshine. It's fabulous, because I spent a long time in England and it was dreary and miserable and cold and wet. So, and it's just British weather. There's nothing I can do about it. But until I left, I didn't realise what was on the other side of the coin. So I chose to go left and travel to the States. And then I saw what other people were doing here. And I thought, wow, that's it? I mean, this is what you can do to earn money? I thought, okay. And so I eventually stayed. I did travel between the two places. I was talking about changing lanes. I changed lanes slowly. And I still flew back to Britain and did wood commissions and did big wooden infrastructure stuff for months at a time. I had a very understanding wife, obviously. And but it was one of those things where I was trying to hang on to both sides, and it didn't work in the end. Eventually I stopped, and the good old recession stopped that for me. And And that was a good thing. It helped me. A recession actually helped me. Didn't help me financially, but it helped me in other ways to actually cut the tie and actually focus on my business here and get going. So my decision to turn left, what was it based on? Well, it was based on the fact that I needed a vacation. And then I flew to this place and thought, wow, this is amazing. I thought I could do this. Yeah, I was a forest guy. I was a guy in the forest. I worked on trees all day. I trudged through miles of forest to get to the right tree. I recovered tree trunks and made sculptures, and that's what I did. So to come to a beach and start a business teaching people how to build sandcastles was completely alien. But I'm a sculptor anyway, and I'm good with sort of basic engineering stuff and learning how to compact things. So getting to the stage of big sandcastles like the one behind me wasn't a big jump. Because I had that skill. But even if you haven't got that skill, if you can draw or take photographs or do videos or make podcasts or whatever you want to do, there is a way for you to earn money if you're prepared to completely commit yourself to your turn. You have to commit yourself to your turn. It's no good, because I did this for a while. I didn't commit myself fully to it. I was trying to stay in two worlds, and that doesn't work. It's not multitasking at all. It's trying to be in two places at once, and I couldn't do that. So my choice about going left or right, doesn't matter if it's left or right, where you go, what you do. It's looking for an opportunity that you could fit into. Not making something happen. I mean, I make things happen, but the beach has always been here and Sandcastle building's always been here. I just figured out a way to make it more effective for people and to make it easier to teach people. Well, make it easier for me to communicate and for me to teach people. That's what I figured out. How to be a better communicator so I could get people to pay me to communicate with them. And that's where my communication skill came in. But my experience, I had no experience at all. So I had to learn. It was an experiment. It was an experiment that turned into an experience. So that's, you know, you have to experiment first. You can't just walk into something and go, oh, this is going to work. It's not, life isn't like that. So I didn't do that. I worked at it, I figured it out, and by trial and error, a lot of it. I also figured out, I live in a very small place, like a village, and local politics, and some of the more colourful local people were, sometimes they would help me, sometimes they would stand in my way, but then you have to figure out how to live in an area. You have to figure it out. You have to work out who people are that can help you, who people are that won't help you. And keep on the positive side of things, you know. There's always a balance, and you have to balance what you say with what you do. But it's what you do that counts, not what you say. So you're better off saying nothing. The old saying is, isn't it? If you've got nothing good to say, don't say anything. And so that's what I figured out to do. But I did get, I could have done more earlier if I'd have followed a few simple rules, like learning the balance, learning where I was living and how it worked sooner. Not trying to be Andy the rebel all day long, which I've been my whole life, but learning how to use that rebel spirit to get me business and work, rather than fighting the system. And even in a place like this, which is a tourist-based island, it's all based on tourism. We have no industry here at all. So learning how not to fight against the machine. And yes, there is a machine on the beach. It sounds absolutely nuts, doesn't it? And but yes, there is a machine on the beach. So you have to learn how to work with that. But I came here and I found I could do it. I've never been frightened of hard work. I figured out a system. I went to see a local bar owner and said, I can bring more people to your bar. And he said, go for it. So he gave me everything I wanted. I mean, I built most of it myself, but I figured out a system to make people, or to help people pay me for my services, and that's what I did. So there is some way you can fit in, even if you think it's the most alien thing in the world. You can fit in by making yourself change. You have to change. But the change starts when you choose left or right. I'm going to go left, or I'm going to go right. I mean, it doesn't matter. But when you go left or right, you then have to work. You do have to work at it. It's not simple. You have to work at what you're doing and enjoy it every single moment. So yes, I enjoy being on my office. I thought I'd give you a view of this today. But yes, Finland, and then America, and then I went back to Britain, then back to America, and then back to Britain, and then back to America. And I went back and two for a long time, and which paid me financially to survive. But other than that, it didn't do anything for me. I couldn't do it in two countries, and I had to figure it out. So I now work in one of the most idyllic, beautiful places on earth. I build sandcastles on the best sandcastle building beach in America, in fact the world, I think. Anybody wants to step up and challenge that, yeah, hubba hubba. So, and I love being with like-minded people. Tourists are always happy because they're on vacation. So I don't meet many unhappy people, which is just fantastic for your psyche. Even if you're taking pictures all day and then posting them and people love them, then you've got to figure out a way to make postcards and sell them. Or you're making videos and you're doing podcasts or whatever you're doing. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Whether you're building sandcastles or running a concierge service, who cares? You have to figure out where you fit into that system that you've ended up at by turning left. So left or right doesn't matter. What matters is that you work very, very hard at your system when you find the place that you really want to be, and this is where I want to be. And that's what I can pass on, really. I mean, it's a brave journey. You have to be brave. Yes, you have to step up. You have to make sacrifices. You have to worry about things. Obviously, you worry about money and finance and where you're going to live and all that other stuff. And it is tough at the start, but if you work hard, people will notice. Especially in the States, I've loved the fact that people appreciate hard work. And when they see me building castles like this on the beach, they appreciate the work I put into it. They come and put money in the tip jar. They do whatever they're going to do. And but they always thank me and say, that's fantastic, thank you. And that keeps me going, because communication is all about it. And time and money, well, yeah, this is a great example, the castle you're going to see in a moment. I came out here for 2.5 hours, paid 2 instructors to come with me and help me, just to be on TikTok for the local CVB, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, for 3 minutes. So I got up at 5:45 and the castle was finished by 9 o'clock. We started filming and 10 minutes later they were gone. So was it worth 3 hours of my time for 3 minutes of video? Well, they do have 500,000 viewers, so let's hope that a lot of people saw it. Let's hope that they see their family and think, what a great thing to do with the family. That would be fantastic, because we're heading to Memorial Day weekend. And I'm really hoping it does it, but I had to put my effort and my hours and my pay and my money into something for somebody else. Well, that's just what you have to do. Sometimes you have to go the extra mile for absolutely nothing. I mean no pay, I don't mean no enjoyment. I had a great time building this thing, and I love it, and hundreds of people have taken pictures of it. And they'll take it back home and say, look what I saw at Padre, this is amazing. So that's how I get my work, and it's self-generating. I'm not in it to be rich. I've always said that before. Money's not my motivator. I do it for the pure love and enjoyment of it, and to teach people how to carry on a long-standing tradition. Sand sculpture goes back to the 1900s. So I want people to carry that on, but we are on the best beach in America to do that. So my journey turning left was coming to America, finding a spot, meeting somebody who would help me, and having a good time, but also letting go over the years of my old life. So there you go. And of course my kids helped me. Big shout out to Colin, the oldest, who's obviously helped me with all my website design and all the other stuff over the years. And without my sons I'd be lost, really. Lewis the filmmaker, and Jake, who inherited my going fast gene and doing crazy things. And they're all different, they all do amazing things, and they're all brilliant. So, and I am so lucky to live in an age where I can talk to my kids every day on the phone and look at them and see my grandson and do all that stuff. So it's a fabulous place to live. I chose to go left. I'm very happy with what I did, but it's not easy. It takes grind and hard work and happiness. You have to smile all day, and you have to be nice, and you have to think the best things are going to happen to you, and if you work hard they will. So welcome to my office, and I'll get out the way now and show you the Sandcastle. Please enjoy, comment, ask me questions, my experience. I mean, my experiences here are based on communication. My communication built my business. Time and money are part of what I put into my business. I put my own time and my own money into my business, and I reinvest in it constantly. And also compromise and balance. I do have to compromise, especially with this nice man flying overhead, making a racket. Lovely, but he's having a good time too. So the compromise is that I live on an island where I have to do things myself. You're not going to get anybody to do anything for you. And also the balance is that it's a beautiful place to live. I get sun and sunshine and heat every day, versus cold, which I don't like. So as far as balance and compromise goes, they don't really come into it. They are what I do, but not how I live. So yeah, so occasionally if you feel like turning left, you should turn left, buy the plane ticket, get on the plane, go and see somewhere, and if you see something you absolutely love, is figure out how you fit into that place. So yeah, turn left, then go figure it out. All right, that's my podcast. This is my spot on the beautiful blue and green dot. I'm gonna turn the camera around now and give you some images, and say hello to my code enforcement friends who enforce the law on the beach. And but I'm going to give you some views, and yeah, choose where you want to be, go and see it, go and do it, because you'll never have another chance. That's the other thing. Don't compromise your life by taking no risks, because a life without risk is no life at all. So that's my experience. I'm very, very happy where I am. I've made a life for myself, and that's what you have to do. You have to work hard and make it. So turn left, turn right, it doesn't matter. Just turn, go do something different. Okay, and your experiences will repay you, I guarantee it. But don't forget, you're gonna have to work very hard. But I'm having a fantastic time. Thanks for watching. Sorry I didn't do the podcast yesterday. It was not good. Yeah, it's run out of steam really, and which is it's not an uncommon thing for podcasting. But I had nothing worthy, nothing really I wanted to pass on. And then I came out here this morning and did this tiny bit of filming for 10 minutes and thought, wait a minute, talk about turning left. And that's where I got it from. So there you go. That's what my podcast is about. Go and enjoy your life, and create your experiences. And if you find one you can't do without, stick at it and just work hard, and you'll end up with a view like this on the blue and green dot. So we don't do boring. Remember, creation begins with destruction. So we dug a big hole in the beach to make this thing, which is £1,200. And yeah, just have some fun. All right. So. Thank you for watching from my spot on the little blue and green dot, and we have blue and green water today. It's beautiful, and we're just heading for Memorial Weekend and Memorial Day weekend here, and we hope we have lots and lots of people who see this and decide to come to Padre and build a sandcastle. Why? Because it'll make your head feel better, that's why. All right, I'll see you next time.